Guys, I'm happy to announce Rusty Nuts Media now has some shirts in stock that you can order. Hit me up on Instagram or Facebook to order. Links in the description below. What's up, guys? Welcome back to Rusty Nuts Media. Today, talking about Project Gewch here, the KART SRT4, if you will. So we're gonna kind of be going over the build and what all's done, everything like that, and what the plan is with this car moving forward. Now, before I get into this, I do want to say a lot of the things I'm gonna go over that have been done to this car, you can do to basically any car. I mean, a lot of this is custom work just because the Caliber SRT4 doesn't have the largest aftermarket following. There are a lot of standard parts you can buy for them. Your intakes, exhaust, you know, there's some cam stuff out there. A lot of this stuff is custom though, because it just doesn't, a lot of people don't buy stuff for the Calibers. So what I'm gonna go over, a lot of this stuff is linked down below in the description. There are links that take you to everything I've used. So you can follow along there if you wanna do something similar to your car. If you've got a Caliber, you can do this. It can pretty much be done to any car, as most of this stuff is just, you know, custom fit. You can do this to anything. So going over the car, mainly it's just the 2.4 that came in it. It was sent off to Aaron at Real Tune Performance. His website is linked down in the description below. He did the bottom end. He did the entire block. It's deemed the RT700 engine. These engines can withstand, he guarantees up to 700, hence the RT700, but we've had guys making over that. Matt, the guy that holds the current fastest Caliber in the world record, he's putting down a little over 800 at the wheels, and he's got the same engine that I've got in this car. So the RT700 is a little underrated from what Real Tune says it is. It can hold plenty of abuse, so I know my engine's good here. The cams, the valve train, everything in the head gasket, the studs, all that stuff came from Real Tune Performance. Aaron deals a lot with the neon and the Caliber SRT4s. He's pretty big in that regard. The fuel system was kind of custom put together. The Walbro 450 pump that's in the tank right now, to get it mounted in the factory canister that's in the fuel tank, Real Tune also makes a fuel pump mounting kit. Now these are made in batches, just like a lot of the stuff for the Calibers are, so you'll have to catch it during a batch, or if you can get 10 people together to buy one, you know, you can get these things made pretty easily. They're the stage 3 Real Tune cams. Like I already said, the valve train. The turbo is actually the stock turbo for the Caliber SRT4. It's a version of the TD04 turbo, pretty popular turbo. Custom intake, custom exhaust, obviously. A lot of custom work up here. And we went to the dyno, we put down 373 at the wheels for horsepower and 403 foot-pound of torque at the wheels. So it's not bad for a stock turbo, and that's pretty much all it's gonna be able to push through that teeny tiny housing. So moving forward, we have here a Precision 6266 turbo. That turbo is capable of over 700 horsepower, and hopefully we're gonna be able to take this thing to its max limits, just like we did with the stock turbo. My plan with this car, from the beginning, Gewch has been a science project. It's been a car on the side that I can do whatever I want. I can play around. It can be torn apart for months at a time. I don't have to have it running. It's just a toy. It's a learning experience. And as you can see, I've learned quite a lot over the last 4 years with this car. So making it street legal the way it sits right now was a lot of fun. This wasn't the goal at first. The goal was to make it the fastest SRT4 in the world, which is still the goal. We're just kind of waiting on a few things here and there, and then we can go after that record. But for now, we're just having fun with it. So we shaved the engine bay. That's the first time I've ever shaved an engine bay. You know, I've pulled motors before. I've done a little body work here and there. Everything was removed. Everything was cut off. It was smoothed out. It was repainted. Underneath all the panels, you know, it was your typical primer that they have from the factory. We repainted all that. The entire car is blacked out now. We did a power steering delete also, just with the plan of making the car as light as we can possibly get it. But then it kind of got me thinking, what about electronic power steering? So I did some research here and there. I went to the junkyard, found a Volvo S40, I think it was like a 2010, that had a electric power steering pump. So I hooked up the wires all here, hooked it up to a toggle switch, ran the high pressure line, the low pressure return. This is the first caliber, and as far as I know, the only caliber out there right now with electronic power steering. It's one of the only calibers with a roll cage. There's just a handful of them out there, and I really like the way this cage came out. The racing seats, I don't know of anybody else with KART keys in a caliber, just because why would you? Like I said, man, it's just a science project. It's just to figure out what can we do, what is possible. And a lot of people ask, you know, where'd you get that? What kit did you buy? What stage kit is it? It's none of that. It's do it yourself, man. Do your own research, find your own parts, put it together yourself, trial and error. I did standard braided line for the power steering pump and blew it apart about 6 times before I realized, okay, it's a little more higher pressure than your typical fuel system is going to put out, so we need high pressure lines for that. It's trial and error. It's a lot of fun building cars like this. So, I mean, it's been fun so far, but moving forward, the goal is to make this the fastest caliber SRT4 in the world, the fastest Dodge Caliber in the world for that matter. So the body panels will eventually go back on. I've spoke with the track here in Alabama. Unfortunately, the way this car's set up right now with no windshield, no doors, no hatch, no nothing like that, it is considered an open body car, which sets it up in a different rule category basically. The cage has to be a little bit different around the driver. You have to have your arm restraints, you have to have your nets covering the doors and all kinds of different things for open body cars. So it wasn't really built to be like this. This was just a fun little thing to go out on the road and drive it like this. So the panels will be going back on at least to get it to the track and make a couple runs here and there. But who knows, we might take them right back off. It's mostly 4 bolts for every door, 4 bolts for the hatch, you know, I think 4 bolts for the fenders. You can suit this car up and take everything off of it in a matter of less than an hour. So it's been a lot of fun making it. So like I said, the next couple steps, we're going with the bigger turbo. We're gonna throw C16 in and try to max out the 62, 66. So our slicks that we're running, these are the Rodoff Slipstreams. They're just your standard little 15-inch wheels, just something real simple that anybody can pick up. And then M&H Racemaster slicks. Now to get those on a caliber, the calibers came with very large SRT brakes from the factory in the front. So what we had to do, Real Tune Performance yet again came through, and they made a small brake kit, which basically modifies all this up here to where you can fit a base model caliber brake on the front of your car. And once you fit that smaller brake, you can fit smaller wheels down to a 15, which is what we happen to run now. So I'm gonna put links in the descriptions to all this kind of stuff. A lot of people have been asking me, you know, what do you use here? What do you use there? What do you use for this? I'm gonna put as many links as I can in the description to kind of let you know what we've used, what we've had success with. All the stainless braided lines up here, you know, everything's blacked out as far as you can see. We'll put links to all the fittings that we used and the lines that we used so you can see exactly what went into this. You know, we're not hiding anything. This is not a big secret. You know, we want people to modify their cars. We want people to learn. We want people to keep moving. You know, if you start keeping secrets from people, it's not fun anymore. Everybody needs to modify their car. Everybody needs to have the knowledge to be able to do anything they want to do. And knowledge should always be free. Wow, I got really philosophical there. Did you hear that? Somebody put that on a shirt or something. Speaking of shirts, Rusty Nuts Media has its first merchandise now. These are the shirts that we've made. We've got the black on white. We've got the white on black. That's what the front looks like, just your standard logo. On the back, we have the larger logo, and that's on both shirts. Currently in stock right now, we've got medium, large, and extra large, but any size you want, we can order it. We can get it made. We're doing $15 in person for these shirts or $20 shipped. So, I mean, if you want a shirt, hit me up on Facebook or Instagram. Those links are in the description below. Just shoot me a message. I'll get one out to you, no problem at all. We'll get you set up with some shirts. So the current record for the caliber SRT4 is, I never get this correct. It's like 10.53 something. So 10.5 at 143 miles an hour, somewhere right in there. There have been 2 calibers in the 10s. If that tells you anything, the caliber's been out 12 years now. The caliber's been out 12 years now, and only 2 people on record have managed to get into the 10s with these cars. That's, I mean, under 6,000 of them were made total in the world. So a lot of people don't modify them, and if they do, they don't go nearly as far as a lot of people would go with them. But of course, Gewch is just a science experiment, as I've said before. So we're gonna take him to the limit every time we can and see what we can do. We're gonna try to go faster than 10.5, maybe even try to get closer to 9 this year. Last year, with a lot of issues, full weight, we were running 11.8 in this car. So we've got to work on that. We've got it running a lot better this year. And I think it's even faster with a smaller turbo now, which is great. Plus, we've taken out about 1,000 pounds off this car so far, which we'll be putting some of that back on, but not the biggest deal in the world. We've got slicks for the front, skinnies for the back. We've went down the rule book for racing and everything you can get all the way down to 9 seconds. We've got it done. We're gonna wait on a window net to come in, a couple other little small things, but other than that, this car is ready and legal to race all the way to 9 seconds. So, fingers crossed we can get there. All right, in the next coming week or two, we'll have a couple videos coming out just with no body panels on it. We really do wanna race the car, but it's still in the 90s in Alabama, so it's still super hot outside. We're still on the stock turbo, which would be fun to see what we could run at the track with the stock turbo completely maxed out the way it is. I just don't think it's worth it to throw all the body panels back on just to go to the track, and then we still want to drive it around like this while we've got the weather for it. When it cools off, I definitely want all the body panels back on, but while it's hot outside, it's just nice to drive around in this go-kart, basically. So we're gonna hold off on putting the panels on for as long as we can, drive it around a little bit, see what we can do with it. Just have fun with it. It was built for fun, and that's what we're gonna use it for. So moving forward, the panels will eventually go back on. The big turbo's going on as soon as we get our manifold. Don't forget about the shirts for sale. Come buy some Rusty Nuts Media merchandise, and we'll keep updating you every week. We usually have about 2 videos a week coming out, so we're pretty busy here working on the car. And cars, as you can tell, there's always different vehicles in and out of here. We're always out at shows. We go to the track. We go everywhere. So if you see us out, come stop by, say hey, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, guys. Bye.